Hello, welcome to the first in a trilogy of Blu-ray updates for December 2016. Yeah, it just happened. It happened. There's so much to talk about, so much to go through. I split it up into 3 videos. The third video will be my Christmas Blu-ray update, because I know there's a few things I'm getting for Christmas, which I'm really excited about. So I'll leave that to its own separate video like I usually do every year. But when I came back home to the UK for Christmas, there were quite a few things waiting for me. So I've split this up into 3 parts, and this first part will be strictly Criterion's and Arrow Video / Arrow Academy. So let's just get right into the Arrow stuff first. This one I picked up the other day in HMV. It's great to buy films in store and get some of the great deals. This cost £6 with like the 5 for 30 deal. Bicycle Thieves, Arrow Academy release. This is a Italian film from 1948. I watched this the other night and it was great. It was really great. It lived up to its reputation as a very good film, and it's a simple story about a man and his young boy searching for a bicycle that has been stolen from them, and this bicycle is very important to them. It's integral to their life, so it's a very important mission to try and find this bicycle, which has been stolen by a gang of thieves, and they go around this city in Italy basically trying to find it, and searching leads and all that kind of stuff, and kind of talking to people who might know stuff, and you go through the emotions of this family who are in a very dire situation at that moment in time. And it's a very bleak film in a lot of ways, but I really enjoyed it, and definitely one to talk about in another video, because this is in the book 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die, which will be a common theme. A lot of my movie spending has been based on whether or not they're in the book. So yeah, I'll be talking about this at a later date in a review video, and delving into it in a little bit more detail. One thing I didn't like, there was a little bit of distortion on the Blu-ray. There's this one frame where everything just goes interlaced and it's all like digital, a digital artifact or something, and it was just like, ah, really, Arrow? And I looked into it, and apparently people have kind of complained about it, but Arrow have never mentioned it. So that's kind of a bit disappointing. And also some of the subtitles, well, not even the subtitles, the lack of subtitles bothered me at times. There'll be like characters walking past in the city or something, and they'll say something and it hasn't been translated, or characters will be having kind of little arguments and it won't be translated, and I can get the gist of it, you know, it doesn't really matter, but I feel like I'm missing out on bits. So yeah, I mean, the film looked great though. The transfer was great. Just a little bit, I'm a little bit divided on that because of those 2 things, Blu-ray wise. But it's a nice package, and on with the next one, Arrow Video release, which just came out, and I'm really happy about this one. I haven't seen the film since it came out, so this is almost a blind buy reel. I remember enjoying it at the time when I was a teenager, but I really don't remember that much about it. I remember being confused. That's about it. And it's a hefty set. I mean, if only all great films had the treatment, you know, the Arrow Video have given this film. It's one film, and they've released this Uber box set for it. It is Donnie Darko. Fantastic release. The artwork is just stunning. A nice hard box, you know, just really nice and thick. I mean, look at the special features listing. Like, this is the plot of the film. I mean, probably not even the plot. Yeah, like a lot of it's about the director and stuff. Here's the plot here. This paragraph. Here's all the special features. It is absolutely batshit. I don't even know how many discs are in this thing, but it has brand new 4K restorations of both the theatrical cut and the director's cut from the original camera negatives. Supervised and approved by the director, Richard Kelly himself. All sorts of special features and audio commentaries and, you know, anything you could possibly want as a Donnie Darko fan, apart from the masterpiece that is S. Darko. I don't know why they didn't include that. Very nice release. I don't know whether I should really unbox it. Well, not really unbox it, but show you everything, because there's videos out there, but they just really went all out with this. There's a nice hardback book with images and writings and just all sorts of cool stuff. I only just realized and remembered that Patrick Swayze is in this film. That's kind of cool. You know, they got like a little envelope there with like postcards in it, like addressed to Donnie Darko, I think. Oh no, it's not. It's again, I haven't seen the film since it came out. Roberta Sparrow. and it says Darko at the top. So yeah, I'm sure once I watch the film again, I will get the significance of that, and I think it's really cool that they put those added details into it. And yeah, just an absolutely stunning set. Glad that I decided to just pre-order it as soon as it went up, because I do believe this is out of print now. But Arrow will be releasing a standard release of this, a much cheaper price, with all the same disc content, just not the book and the fancy packaging and stuff. Right, Criterion time. Over Black Friday, I picked up a few of the UK Criterions, and just to delve into that a little bit, that was a huge thing for the Blu-ray community in the UK in 2016, was Criterion coming out with Blu-rays in the UK. I mean, it's crazy. It's something I would have never predicted, never expected to happen, but it did. They somehow worked out the licensing issues and distribution, all that kind of stuff. There's still kind of the complaint that they're not really hands-on at all with the promotion of it. They don't really announce titles. They don't really have a UK kind of you know, place for people to talk to them and stuff, like on Facebook or whatever, like other companies do. It's kind of just, okay, you're getting this because Amazon says so. But I don't really care. You know, I'm just really happy that we get to kind of pick up some of these films at a much cheaper price. Now, when they first came out, the first wave of films that they released in the UK through the Criterion Collection, they were priced at $17.99, and that didn't change anywhere you went unless you go to like CEX and buy used copies. And a lot of people were like, that's a bit expensive. Now it is for kind of catalogue titles, but they are Criterions. They do have incredible transfers, great extras, nice packaging, and it's much cheaper than the US Criterions. Thing was, the initial wave, a lot of them I wasn't like super interested in. I mean, I'd love to have all of them, obviously, but the only one that stood out to me was Speedy, the Harold Lloyd film, which I picked up straight away, and then I just didn't get any of the other ones. They intrigued me, but not at that price. And then about a month or two ago, they went down to, I think, $13.49, which is a really good price. People started buying loads of them, and kind of there was a renewed interest and resurgence in UK Criterions. So I picked up two of those over Black Friday. They weren't Black Friday deals, but they were $13.49 each. The first one is an Italian film from 1960, directed by Michelangelo Antonioni L'Avventura, and this one is in the book, 1,001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. And I read up a little bit about it, and it really interested me. And I mean, just the cover is really alluring to me. I just want to see what this film was all about. Yeah, apparently this is part of a loose trilogy from Antonioni. You know how like some directors, they have like a trilogy, but it's not really a trilogy. It's like John Carpenter calls The Thing and then two other films his Apocalypse trilogy. It's not like a linear narrative trilogy, but just three films that I guess cover themes that they want to touch on. And the other one is in a Criterion Collection, and then the third one is in the Masters of Cinema Collection as well. But I'm very excited to check this one out, and you'll be hearing that a lot in this video because I haven't watched almost any of them. The next one, again, $13.49, great price. It happened one night. So I started watching this on Netflix about 6 months ago, and I just stopped watching. I don't know why. I'm really intrigued to check this one out, directed by Frank Capra. This is from 1934. The only film I've seen from that director is, of course, It's a Wonderful Life, and I'm really intrigued to see Clark Gable in a film other than Gone with the Wind. I mean, I just think of Clark Gable as Rhett Butler, and that is it. So it'll be interesting to see him in a different kind of movie, and the disc is actually in my Blu-ray player right now because I'm getting ready to watch it pretty soon. But yeah, looking forward to this one. Looking forward to all of them. It's just hyperbole. Well, not even hyperbole. It's just repetition. Looking forward to checking this out. But you know, it really is true. And this is apparently kind of a screwball comedy, which I kind of got that vibe from the first 10 minutes that I did watch earlier this year. So I'm looking forward to checking this one out very soon. Now, I got five other Criterions. I'll leave that one in. And these were basically my Christmas bonus present to myself. I got an unexpected Christmas bonus, and I thought, awesome. Was not expecting that. And I found this website in the UK called Zoom. Never used them before, and they had a 15% discount code for December. And so I was looking at the Criterions, and there were some good prices and stuff. So I got 3 of the $13.49 priced Criterions, and then 2 that were a little bit more expensive, but because of the discount, It ended up working out that all of these cost, if you split it evenly, £14. So like one of them was £25 originally because it has 2 films included, and I kind of got that price bumped down to 14, so I was really happy about that one. And then another one is a brand new release, which was £17.99, and I got to kind of get a discount on that too. So really happy about these 5 titles. The first 3, this one is by a legendary filmmaker, Francois Truffaut, Day for Night, from 1973. Apparently this is about a director trying to make a movie, and he plays a director in the film himself. And day for night is the phrase of when, you know, you're trying to film a night scene in a film and you shoot it during the daytime. So I don't know if that plays into the film as such, but either way, it's supposed to be a movie about making movies, and I always enjoy those and seeing the different takes that people have on it. And again, haven't seen a Truffaut film at all. I don't even know where this stands in his filmography, whether it's near the end of his career, whether it's, you know, well, it's definitely not towards the beginning, but 1973. Looking forward to checking it out, and as always, if any of you have seen any of these films, please do let me know what you think of them. This one, I saw in an update video from Rusty Boy 1985, and he really sold the film well. It's from 1941, Here Comes Mr. Jordan. This stars Claude Rains, who I'm a big fan of from The Invisible Man. Love Claude Rains. And also Casablanca as well, he's in that, right? Yeah, I think he is. And this one, I can't remember the story off the top of my head, but it intrigued me. It's about a guy, I think, who dies, and an angel comes to him and says that his death was a clerical error. And so it's kind of like one of those kind of fantasy, like, morality tales, I guess. And I just really love 1940s films. I'm getting into them a lot recently. And what's really cool about the special features on this one is that it includes the radio adaptation. A lot of films in the 40s would have radio versions. Sometimes they get the original cast, sometimes it'd be other actors playing the parts from the film. And in the radio adaptation of Here Comes Mr. Jordan, Cary Grant plays the main character. And I believe he was originally scheduled to star in the film, but it didn't work out. But he did the radio adaptation, and that is included on the Blu-ray, which is really cool. The next one I have seen, I watched it the other day, a Nicholas Ray film from 1950, starring the one and only Humphrey Bogart, In a Lonely Place. I love that front cover image, especially after seeing the film. This is about a Hollywood writer who's kind of struggling to write his next script, and a murder happens near the beginning of the film, and he gets caught up in it, and he meets a girl, and there's a romance, and it's all about the whole, you know, was he involved, was he not involved, and there's kind of this kind of mental cat and mouse game going on between a lot of the characters, and I really enjoy. I expected to enjoy this film. In fact, no, I loved it. I really did love it. It's just a really good film, and particularly Humphrey Bogart. His performance was just so fascinating to watch. I loved him in this film, and I can't wait to talk about it in an upcoming review, because it was in the book, 1001 Movies You Must See Before You Die. Just, you know, I love these releases, and it's always fun when you blind buy a Criterion and you watch it and you end up loving the film, and you kind of feel like it's an even more worthy addition to your collection. There's the main woman from the film there. So yeah, In a Lonely Place, really great film. If you do see it for a good price, I would say jump on it, because it's a really good. I don't know if it's film noir, it kind of is, but it just has that old kind of golden age Hollywood feel to it. But it's, you know, it has kind of the mood of a film noir as well. Right, the last two that were a bit more expensive, but I got to get the discount on. This one is not a two-pack, but it's a set of 2 films that are, I guess, you know, it's a film and its sequel, and it tells one big story as far as I'm aware. From 1971 and 1972, The Immigrants and the New Land. When this was announced for the UK, I had never heard of it before, was not interested whatsoever, but when I was trying to decide what Criterions to get, I looked into this one and I thought, what are these films? So they're 2 Swedish films directed by Jan Troll, probably not pronouncing that correctly, who cares, right? Well, I care, but you know, I haven't got the time to figure out all the pronunciations for all of these directors and actors and such. But this stars Max von Sydow and Liv Ullmann, who are 2 phenomenal actors. I love them so much. Like every film I see them in, they're brilliant. And they actually were very good in a film together, Arrow of the Wolf by Bergman. So I'm really Looking forward to delving into this one on a rainy day. Maybe check out both films and kind of marathon them, because both films together are, I think, over 6 hours long, and it tells the story of these two immigrants, I guess. And it's kind of like a rural kind of setting movie, I guess, from what I've seen from the images and you know, the reviews that I saw online and some of the screenshots. But yeah, it just sold me, just these two. Max von Sydow, Liv Ullmann, phenomenal actors. Put them together as the main stars, I'm all in, you know. And I'm really getting into some Swedish films, classic Swedish films. Has some great special features as well. A new interview with Liv Ullmann, hour-long documentary on the making of the films. So yeah, this was one I was not expecting to pick up, and I'm really happy that I now have it and got it for such a good price. And finally, this is one I've been looking forward to for a long time, ever since it was announced. It is one of the great master's last films, Akira Kurosawa's Dreams. I have not seen this. I haven't seen many of his later films. This is from 1990. What a career this guy had. He started in the 40s and ended up in the 90s. It's ridiculous. And this film apparently is kind of like a segment film, has all these different parts to it, and it's kind of based on his dreams, I guess. And Martin Scorsese plays Vincent van Gogh in one of the segments, which is a really weird thing to even imagine. But it was cool to see that in Kurosawa's later career, guys like Scorsese, Francis Ford Coppola, George Lucas, big admirers of his, really came to kind of help his career continue. Basically, they kind of ended up funding some of his films, I believe, and so yeah, that was cool to see, or to read about and look back on. Obviously, I had no idea about Kurosawa back when he was making these films in the 90s, but it was cool to read up stuff like that, where these American directors who are becoming big in their own right were kind of helping this kind of fading Japanese legend to make a few more films in the twilight of his years and career. So I'm looking forward to checking this out. To take a shot. And the transfer looks stunning on this. I looked at some of the screenshots, it looks great. But what really sold me on this more than anything was the special features. There's a really great set of supplements on this. You get a 2.5 hour making of documentary of the film itself. You get a new interview with the production manager, a new interview with the assistant director, and a 50-minute documentary from 2011 called Kurosawa's Way, where a lot of famous filmmakers talk about why they love Kurosawa, including guys like Clint Eastwood, Hayao Miyazaki, Alejandro Inarritu, you know, Martin Scorsese. You know, it's just, and I've watched bits of it because I'm really excited to check it out in full, and it just looks like a really interesting watch. So great special features. I hope the film's good too. I'm a huge fan of Kurosawa, and I'm looking forward to watching one of his later films. Looking forward to watching. Why is that phrase just always on the tip of my tongue when I'm talking about these films? Anyway, there we go. That's the Criterions and the Arrow Video stuff. There will be, I think, a couple of Criterions in my Christmas Blu-ray update, so there's a few more to come. But yeah, have you picked up any of the UK Criterions? You know, just leave your comments down below on anything and everything to do with the films I just talked about. And I'll see you with part 2, where I'll be covering massive cinema, special editions, and all sorts of other random crap. So I'll see you there, and depending on when these videos even end up going up, have a very good Christmas and a kind of festive season, and a good New Year too. So yeah, I'm not sure when these videos are going to go up, so I'll just throw that in there just in case, and I'll see you in the next part.
So you might say he's a really nice guy, really, but if fucking don't cut shit with me. He says he's really cool, but I think he's a tool.